founder of Boot Party, Sani Adenuga, joins me now from Abuja for discussions on this development. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so your party escaped the big stick wielded by INEC. So what are your prayers, really? Take us through some of your prayers at the court.
Actually, what really happened was that we were just registered last year officially by INEC on the 25th of August. And that was after a protracted court appearances between leadership of Boot Party and INEC. You might be aware that in 2018, the Boot Party submitted application for registration. We fulfill all the requirements of the law, and for us to be surprised that instead of 24 parties being registered, we were denied registration. And there was no reason given, to be honest, other than on the mere flimsy excuse of signature irregularities, which was not really, should be a reason within the law, because clearly organizations like INEC and their leadership should know that as a democratic, the democracy regulator in the country, they have very high responsibility to follow all the laws as it is in our Constitution and the Electoral Act. So we went to court, and good enough, we actually told them before that, and they boasted that we're not going to get anything out of the court, and that was why it took so long. We won the judgment on the 31st of January, if I'm being correct now about the date. I'm not sure exactly the date, but it was the last Friday in the month of January 2019. And it still took INEC a very long time before they decided to register us as a political party. There's one thing clear about the Boot Party. We are in this because of our tomorrow, and that's what our name is. And that's all of us who've put the Boot Party together. We were clear there's one thing we will never do. We will not commit the Nigerian sin. We have absolute zero to corruption.
Okay. Let's walk in the shoes of INEC now. Some of the concerns are, you know, the long list of political parties that you find on ballot papers on election days. And some of these political parties, smaller political parties, quote and unquote, turn out with 0 votes or 1 or 10 votes, sometimes during elections. So how do you suggest that INEC strikes a balance between the freedom of association that you are clamoring for and a seamless political process that is inclusive for everyone?
Yeah. I think the best way I want to say this is this. I may have to remind many of us Nigerians that how old is APC as a political party, for example? If there is no opportunity for new political parties to be created as provided by the Electoral Act, we won't even have President Buhari in the first instance, because the party was created after coming together of 2-party alliances. And that's the law. It is not about personal opinion. And this is where we need to get this clear, that once the law is made, you just have to follow it. So it is the responsibility of the leadership of INEC to actually seize themselves as a democracy regulator and be more responsible to their own responsibilities and not trying to blame everybody for their own inefficiencies, to be honest. So to answer your question directly, I think I'm not going to think for them, to be honest, and the Boot Party will not think for them. But the law is clear. There is freedom of association granted to anybody in Nigeria. And if I might digress a bit, Boot Party has just been created as a party in less than a year. And what we've done, our members in the community that we've had strong leadership, the impact we've had in the community, if we are to showcase them, and I know the same thing applies to other parties, Nigerians will want political parties in hundreds.
Okay,
I would personally...
Talking about impact now, if you have observed, like many Nigerians, that some of these smaller parties disappear from the political space after the elections have been fought and won. So how do you suggest that these political parties, if they must be recognized, engage politically, engage the electorate so that they can get the desired recognition that they clamor for?
Yeah, I'm going to say this again, that what is actually the gestation period of any organization? Let's give an example. I'm not too young when GSM started in Nigeria. And you're going to recognize that even as rich as some of these organizations were, they've been existing in other countries before they even came to Nigeria. Let's give an example of Econet of those days, MTN of those days. They didn't come one day and establish in every part of the country. They started from maybe five states of the country. They didn't even cover all the states. So probably the question we should be asking ourselves, what is the gestation of a political party before INEC is going to win and ask that, oh, you shouldn't exist or you should exist as a political party? We understand this is gray area, but I think primarily after my discussion with some of the IPAC executives, I think what they found disheartening is the fact that INEC treats them without respect. And let's be honest with ourselves. Political parties are big stakeholders in our politics. And we should just get away from this idea or this syndrome of envelope and letter democracy that we actually call democracy in our part
All
of
right,
the world.
Mr. Denuga, your points are well taken, and we hope that there'll be more engagement from political parties besides the leading political parties